What's good, everybody? What's good, everybody? I'm just doing a little bit more sharing right quick. Just jumping on here. I'm going to do some Cowboys football, and I got a special guest today, Mr. Darren Smith. What's up with you, big dog?
What it do, big guy? What it do, man? Just glad to be in the service one more time, as they say in the black church.
Right. Well, let me do a few more things on some sharing, and then we're going to jump right in this, man.
I'm gonna do my thing. Hey, do your thing, man. I'm just here to, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Well,
I'm ready for this.
while I'm doing this, big dog, let them know, what you're doing, what you got going. Basically, give you a little background while I'm doing some few sharing right quick, so they know who you are.
Oh, no problem. Well, first of all, again, thank you for having me. My name's Darren Smith here on the largest sports station, probably in the country, at least over the airwaves on the AM side. Sports Radio 810 WHB. I'm on weekly at the moment due to the COVID stuff, so I'm on from noon to 2 p.m. on Sunday afternoons during the football season, if there is a football season.
Man,
The schedule, right, the schedule would change to daily. But then up until then, look, man, I've been doing this since 1994, I would say, when I first got started back as a sophomore in high school, covering the Kansas City Chiefs. Still cover the Chiefs right now. Cover the Kansas City Royals, sporting Kansas City, KU football, and basketball. From time to time, UFC when they come to town, or if I go to Vegas, and I do cover World Championship fights as well, especially when they're on Showtime. So, do all that. I've covered two Super Bowls. Been on Radio Row three times, and love to travel. Hopefully, I mean, I'll find out soon from the looks of it, from the way they're sounding. They may not have media travel, so I will probably be getting a lot of credits or a lot of refunds with Southwest Airlines and Priceline and stuff this upcoming season. So hopefully we'll see. Hopefully the NFL will have a full football season, and hopefully I'll get a chance to travel. If not, there's always Super Bowl 50. What is it? 54, 55. Super
man,
Bowl
I can't even
55.
count now. We ain't been to one, so I ain't talking about it until we get to
Oh
one.
well, yeah.
Yeah,
It might
yeah,
be
yeah,
next,
yeah.
yeah, especially with our quarterback signing a 10-year contract extension. We're gonna be seeing a few of these Super Bowls
We'll see
from
about
him.
that.
And here's what's interesting that I had really thought about moving, trying to go to a bigger market, Kansas City, New York. But
Hmm.
when Patrick signed that extension, I do enjoy my trips to the Super Bowl, especially when they're free.
Hmm.
So I might just stick around just a little bit longer here in Kansas City, since is where I'm from and where the best barbecue is.
Yeah, y'all got some good barbecue out there, and I'm gonna make sure I holler at it when I come
Facts.
out there. I will definitely, because you already seen my homeboy tweet in there, tell me about the KC barbecue, so I'm already have to
Oh
get up
yeah,
in there.
you already know Gates Barbecue is where it's at.
But hey, let me give a shout out to my new member, Mr. Darren Posey. Shout out to becoming a new member. Really appreciate you. Shout out to everybody that's in the feed right now. Dak Attack, the Lunatic, Boothang, of course, the Ninja. What's up with your big dog, T Smooth TV, Rube Glock. Make sure you get out there and share, because we're gonna talk some football right now. But let's jump right into it, dog.
Do it.
You just said at the very beginning if we have a football season now.
Ooh.
A couple things that just already transpired. Connecticut canceled their football season. That's one of the FBS football colleges. And then the MAC conference, which is out in my type of area, canceled their whole football season. Now it's being reported that possibly the Big Ten is leaning that way. My question to you is this: if they cancel all of college football, because if the Big Ten cancels, it's over. If they actually cancel college football, what is for us to really believe, big dog, that there's going to be an NFL season if they canceling college football?
Well, I would actually have it the other way around. If the NFL canceled their season, then there would be no college football for sure. Well, obviously, the biggest difference is that you're talking about student athletes versus professional athletes that are actually being paid a salary, and can make that choice, in which they did, whether or not they wanted to opt out or continue playing. So that within itself is a big difference. Also, to your point about the Big Ten, the actual Power Five conferences, so the Big Ten, ACC, SEC, Big 12, and the Pac 12. They're all going to all the conference. Well, those Power Five will be meeting, if not today, then tomorrow, and probably over the next 72 hours, we'll find out whether or not, if they postpone or cancel, either way, try to move it to next season. Obviously, that would fill a huge void And I mean that'll be well that within itself will be earth-shattering news for the fact that you want to have college football this fall. How that relates to the NFL, it really doesn't. Has no bearings on it. The NFL, if there is no college football, will actually look to move some of the Sunday games to Saturday slates to fill that college void, to fill that college football window. So right now, unless teams break out as we get closer to the start of the season with the COVID, the NFL season is going to take place. I can't say the same for college football because nothing you have to understand. There will be litigation as well. I mean, people can make it seem like it isn't, but one of the reasons why that they are looking to do that because if kids here's the thing, you knowingly are putting the kids in a situation where they could get infected and they could possibly pass away from, hence 160,000 deaths right now. Again, with the NFL, they're actually getting paid, so you do have, so there is some onus taking fact, but college athletes they're not. And the fact that you would have them do that and there's no compensation for them, that's something that maybe colleges and the commissioners, don't want to have that type of litigation going up against them right at the moment. That's my thoughts.
So that's what you really think it is more than anything else is litigation. If some kid gets sick, falls out, somebody dies, let's say, God forbid something like that would happen. But do you think that's really the driving force of them saying, let's go ahead and postpone college football or cancel it altogether?
James, I always remember it's always about the almighty dollar.
For sure,
now, look,
for sure.
They definitely need need it because it funds the other sports, but does the risk it's a risk reward type deal, and it's just my opinion. I mean, I haven't been in a conference call or anything like that, but I have a daughter that goes to Vanderbilt and she runs track out there. I keep telling her, yeah, you're gonna go, but you're gonna, you might be leaving August 20th to drive back to school, but you'll be back by September 1st.
Right.
I just don't see them just putting the students in a situation, especially when you already see now. I think if you look in Georgia, there was a photo going around viral of high school students. I think schools and I remember time growing up where we didn't start school till the day after Labor Day. So now kids still started school in August. So I thought that they hadn't opened them back up yet, but in Georgia, there was a picture floating that the hallway was crowded, kids weren't wearing masks, and I think nine kids and teachers caught the COVID that day or whatever, tested positive for it, and so obviously that could easily spread going further. So again, that's just something that I mean, if I'm a commissioner, man, why even have a headache? But one thing I can assure you that if I know anything, I know politics, and even if they lose money by not being able to play, they'll get it back. The government will figure out a way to fund college athletics and replace that money. They always do. I mean, you see with the $2 trillion that they passed a few months ago that ended with the unemployment a couple of weeks ago. I mean, they can always pass bills and restock those coffers. So
right. Well, let's just hopefully, because it's been kind of crazy. I've seen a lot of players opting out in college football, and some of the top players opting out, which I can kind of see. If you're a top player, it's protect your stock. It's a crazy year. This is probably the best year you could do it without getting any penalty for not playing. You get what I'm saying? And maybe some of these guys don't want to play. Let's keep it real. Like, I want to ask you this before we jump into some Cowboys Chiefs stuff. Yeah, we're going to talk about that shit. But 69 players opted out. You had two players. How many players opted out from the Chiefs?
We had three.
You had three. So you had the weird name, Cordier.
No, we had Lucas Niang, Lucas Niang, the rookie, our third round draft pick. We had Damian Williams, who's our starting running back, and then we had I just call him LDT. That's our
because that's a hard ass name right there.
Well, so it's not hard. I just can't remember it.
Well, it's some Cordier, something like that. So you had 69 total guys opt out. 3 opted out with KC. 3 opted out with Dallas. What's your kind of thoughts on that, of the guys opting out? Now, you're out there, you're in that locker room and things like that. So you had Damian Williams, who was your starting running back last year. and could have possibly won the MVP in the Super Bowl, and he opted out. From what you've been hearing, are they getting any kickback from that? Because you heard Deion Sanders say, "Oh, the game will move on without you," blah blah blah. Are they getting kickback from that from players that are choosing to opt out? Like, are players looking at them like, "Are you abandoning us?" Or are they like, you know what, do what's best for your family?
Nah, it's not that at all. No, they all. Well, first of all, for our lineman, he's a doctor. He's a medical doctor. So we had a Zoom conference call with him earlier in the summer, and he's there in Canada working in the hospital. So he sees it firsthand what this virus is doing to people. So,
Mm-hmm.
so look, the Chiefs are going to take him not only at his word, but from his expertise, because that's what he's doing, and that's what he's going to be doing when he leaves the game of football. And so
Okay.
he took a medical oath as well. So you got to keep that in mind. Where they have to do no harm, and they have to, I mean, that's he took an oath. And so now Damian Williams, he says that his mom has cancer and she lives with him. So so I mean, you don't want to. Again, everyone's situation is different. I don't agree with Dion. I mean, but that's but he's speaking from a position of privilege, and
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah, you
I mean,
feel me?
yeah, so you have to keep that in mind. So everybody's situation is different, and so I just don't. No, I mean, as it relates to the Chiefs players, no, there's been no pushback. Now we don't know exactly, and we had Andy Reid on the call today, and so we did not. I don't think nobody asked me. I know I didn't ask him regarding the rookie and his decision for opting out. But again, to each his own. Everyone's situation is different, and I try to live my life by not judging folk
Mm-hmm.
for what they decide to do, because at the end of the day, they can't. They don't have any bearings on what I do with my life and the decisions I make.
Right. True. Well, let's just hope everything works out with all of that. So let's just jump in there. If there's a season, let's see. Now I'm gonna see if one of my homegirls is in. Her name is Jessica. Happy birthday to you, Jessica. If you jump in this feed, I'm gonna tell you right now, she's gonna go nutty. You say one bad thing about Dak Prescott, but it's okay. I'm just already getting warning her ahead of time because I know you about to say some dumb shit
I mean,
about
he
Dak.
already
You
know. I
about
was about
you
to say
about to
that.
say
I was
you
about to
about to
say
say
it
some
now.
you about to say some dumbass shit about Dak Prescott. So let's
Yeah.
go ahead and get it out.
I
So
mean,
no,
well,
hold on.
hold on.
You be talking.
Your show,
You be
your
talking
show,
shit about that though.
show
You
ain't
be
talking
talking
about
good
Dak
shit about
Prescott.
that though.
Dak
You be
Prescott does
talking.
not deserve
Okay,
attention
well
on
then
this
talk
show
about it. Okay,
all day long.
okay, all right. Well then talk about it because you be killing me with this stuff about Dak. Now you be basically what? Okay, come on, dog. What you saying? Dak ain't worth 40 million. Do we know Dak asked for 40 million? He didn't get the deal. You said he was never going to get the deal. What was your reasoning for that?
I mean, what? I mean, first of all, he's 1-2 in the playoffs, man. I mean,
That ain't got nothing to do. We seen players, we seen quarterbacks who ain't did jack poo in the playoffs get paid. So
okay,
don't do that. Jimmy Garoppolo never even made the playoffs. He got big money. So don't do that.
hold on. So now you asked me my opinion, and
Okay.
then you cut me off, right?
Okay, I'm sorry.
I mean,
But well, we go with, but
just a little bit.
there ain't no rules in this right here though.
I know you are Dak Prescott's defender. I understand that, but look, he ain't putting you on the payroll, man. He ain't putting you on the payroll. Let's just keep it 100, okay? Look, I like Dak Prescott. Okay, look, I've always said since his rookie season that I thought that he would be
My
and lower
bad.
your mic volume too. I think I
I
see some
know.
people reading. Just
I
just
know.
lower your volume just a little bit.
My bad,
Um,
y'all.
no, you're good. But that's what the people are saying. So I want to make sure that the show is on point. So look, when it comes to Dak Prescott, I always thought that as a leader and as a football player, I thought that the Cowboys did an excellent job finding Dak in the fourth round, and then Dak stepping up and performing well under pressure his rookie season, because obviously Jerry Jones wanted to replace him back with Tony Romo, but his play and support of Jason Garrett, and at the time they were winning as well. So look, I don't have a problem with that. And look, I've always felt that he deserves to be paid more than Carson Wentz and Jared Goff. One, are in the same draft class. Two, they had a 5-year contract. He had a 4-year contract, and then B, three, I also felt that he earned it as well. I mean, his play deserved it, but let's keep things in context and in perspective. It's one thing to say, to play better over a period of time than the people that are in your draft class. Again, and I'm not saying, look, I think they got maybe 33, 34, 35 million. My thing was Dak just needs to get a dollar more than Golf or Wentz. Because, look, Wentz has a Super Bowl title, but he was the catalyst for the team having a good season, actually a great season, but he got injured and Nick Foles took him the rest of the way. Could he have led him to a title? Well, look, we'll never know at that time. The following season, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he got hurt. He got hurt again. Nick Foles almost ran it back again. And then the next year, when he played a full season, he got hurt opening drive in the playoffs. And so I know it was a cheap shot, but he still got hurt, couldn't finish, and couldn't complete the task. Dak Prescott, to me, he is very dependent on the running game because we saw what happened those 6 games that Ezekiel Elliott was suspended in Dak's second year, and then of course the third season, I mean we saw what happened there, and then last year, to me, Jason Garrett wanted to put. I guess he may have wanted to show up Jerry Jones by putting making sure that Dak got the stats. Well, Dak got the stats, 4,900 yards, but it didn't equate to wins. And so,
Right.
look, man, I'm always in the wins and losses type thing, man. And so, to me, if you win, yeah, hey, you deserve big money. Russell Wilson got it. He's won a Super Bowl. He's led his team to a Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers, and some of those other quarterbacks, look, they won it. Tom Brady obviously is an anomaly because he decided to take less money for the team, and look, that's his right. Look, we always knew that Patrick Mahomes, after his MVP season, was going to break the bank. We just didn't know how. But also, he got his team to the AFC Championship game, his first full season as a starter, and then the very next year, he won a Super Bowl and a Super Bowl MVP, and so that and I'm seeing that someone has said that, yeah, I mean, when you look at what Carson Wentz did, yeah, he was surrounded by great talent, but those years he was injured. Now last year, he had a pretty decent season considering that, I mean, who his players were and that were injured, and you probably couldn't even name any of his starters on the offensive side besides Kelsey at the tight end position right now. So look, I mean, for me, Dak Prescott got all the weapons, but you can't go 8-8 and then expect to get a massive contract extension. I can't justify that. Now,
Okay.
if
Now
he
hold on,
not,
hold
not
on.
if he not,
No,
not if he comes back this year, you ball out 12-4, 13-3, pay the man. But you still gotta look for Dak to get that kind of money. You have to at least play well and then take your team to the NFC Championship game, if not the Super Bowl. I mean, I ain't saying you got to win it, but you at least got to show that you can get there and you have the capability to get there consistently.
okay, I understand that part, but here's my thinking. The players that you named, Big Dog, you named Russell Wilson, right? Who was his coach? Pete Carroll's a pretty good coach, right? You would say that?
Well,
Yes or no? Just do you think he's a pretty good coach? Yes or no?
he's a good. I can't say pretty good because of that dumbass decision he made in the Super
But
Bowl.
he's been to the Super Bowl a couple times, though, right?
Yeah, he's been yeah, and he should have won a couple times too.
Right.
But
And
but when hold on, James. But when you make dumbass decisions like that, your intellectual gets called into question.
okay, I understand that. But Russell Wilson had Pete Carroll. Um, Drew Brees won his one Super Bowl with Sean Payton. You're gonna say Sean Payton's a pretty good coach, right?
Yeah, he's a good coach.
Okay. And then you mentioned your coach. You mentioned Pat Mahomes, who just won, and Andy Reid's a pretty decent coach, right?
He is now. Yeah.
Okay, but he was a winner. He consistently won and got the championship game. So what I'm saying is, you mentioned Tom Brady. You mentioned Aaron Rodgers. The coaches that they have with them had at least got one Super Bowl or took them there. The coach. We cannot honestly say that Jason Garrett. Me and you talked almost a year ago today. It was a year ago we did a show, and we were talking about Jason Garrett. No way in hell did we ever think Jason Garrett was a championship coach. So in 4 years, you say Dak Prescott, and I understand what you're saying. 8-8, I get that. But when you're playing with a lame duck coach who just got fired, you're really gonna. And I'm not saying Dak is not blameless. Does he still need to get better? Yes, he does. But also, coaching does matter. When you look at those other quarterbacks that you mentioned, they had better coaches, in my opinion, because you're not going to see Jason Garrett ever be a head coach in the NFL, in my opinion.
Well, first of all, I ain't the one to hire. So look, you got to
I'm
take that
just
up with your
saying,
own
though.
ownership down there.
I'm
But
just.
hold on. You got to take that up with your guy Jerry Jones. Look, it's not my fault that he accepts mediocrity. So that's between you, Cowboy Nation, all that, and then some. Look, because
I
I
don't
was one.
accept that stuff.
Well, yeah, but you ain't the one signing the paycheck, though. I'm
Exactly,
saying
though.
so. I mean, but it took you all long enough to raise holy hell for him to finally get rid of Jason Garrett. Now, look, I don't know who this person is. Jeremy X on my teams win or lose, well, no shit. But number one offense and number one defense with bad. I guess I don't know what the ST is supposed to stand for. Don't win. But I mean, I don't know
Special
what he's trying to
teams.
say. I
Our
guess. Well,
special teams was trash. Our defense was very average. You had a lame duck coach in his last season. What do you expect?
well, you know what? Look,
What do you
Tom
expect,
Brady.
Darren? Come on, dog. No, don't say that,
Hey,
Tom Brady. Come on, dog. See, that's what I'm saying. You saying Tom Brady, but Tom Brady had better coaching, dog. We seen terrible mistakes. We seen bad
did he
adjustments.
have
We
a good
seen
team last year?
who
I
Tom
mean,
Brady. I'm
hey,
not. I know.
hey,
I don't think that
okay,
team was great last year with the
okay.
Patriots. No, I do
Well,
not think it was.
but
But
he still
coaching,
got him to the playoffs.
but guess what? Coaching makes a difference too. So it ain't all Tom Brady. And don't sit there and tell me they had a terrible special teams and their defense was their defense bad? Was there? I'm asking. Was their
Hold on.
defense bad though, Darren?
Who? The Patriots?
Yes. No, it wasn't.
Not for the first 8, 9 games. No.
Exactly. Was Dallas's
Hold on,
defense good?
hold on. Let
Answer
me
it.
ask you. Well,
Yeah.
doesn't that
Thank
fall
you.
on coaching like you said?
Appreciate you.
Didn't that fall on coaching like that said?
That's what I'm trying to explain to you. So when you're talking about Dak
Well,
Prescott, why he didn't get a contract,
whose fault is it for you all keeping Jason Garrett
we
3, 4, 5 years
understand
too
that,
long?
but you're sitting there telling me he doesn't deserve a contract when you win 8-8. But did you see the reason why they went 8-8 when coaching does matter?
Well, I'm sorry. There were many games. So let me see. So when you all were trailing the Jets big at the half and trailing against, look, I mean, last time I checked, Dak Prescott's able to call audibles. Am I correct? He is able to change the plays at the line, right?
You're
I
right.
mean, it's
You're right.
okay. So look, I mean,
You're
Patrick Mahomes
right.
has their freedom as well. So if there's something that he doesn't like that's being called, he can change the play. I mean, Dak Prescott's
You
supposed
think
to be
Dak
the
had
coach on the
that?
field.
Do you think Dak Prescott had that ability when he was with Scott Linehan? Just ask him. I don't think so. He just probably got it this year with Kellen Moore, and then they tried to prove everything being a passing team, and he proved it. You had a couple games that the Cowboys
He
lost.
proved, yes, he proved he could throw for 4,900 yards, but he couldn't prove that he could throw for that many yards. And first of all, you got to remember, he got a lot of those yards, coming back from behind. So don't make it seem like he was out there just doing the
So
Patrick
now you're
Mahomes
going.
type stuff.
So now you're going to sit there and say the empty yards things with him.
I mean, well, hell, I mean, when you trailing the Jets and the Patriots and these games, and you coming back, well, what the hell? I mean, you can't. Ezekiel
You
Elliott
seen
can't run you back into the lead.
right? I feel you, but you seen that Patriots game when he was driving and them phantom calls that mysteriously happened to stop us. Wipe your head all you want to. These are realities. Like just because your Chiefs have won the Super Bowl this year, you act like y'all so blameless and don't everything. You remember you had Andy Reid there for 5 years before you won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you all had Jason Garrett to how many years? And yeah,
10 exactly,
yeah,
but here's the
exactly.
thing, y'all just now won a Super Bowl after 100
It's
years.
so
Okay, so
it
it feels, yeah, you can
okay.
hold the football in front of me and that's all good,
Yes,
but stop
yes,
acting like Andy Reid wasn't a classic choker. Had multiple.
he
I don't think
was.
he hasn't had a losing season over at Kansas City, has he? Nope. He only
Yes.
had one season where it was 9-7, and I don't think he made the playoffs. So you made the playoffs 5 of the 6 years, and only one time did you get to the Super Bowl and win it. So it's not like Andy Reid was coming over there dominating, getting to the championship game every single year. So don't act like it's easy to do, especially when you don't have good coaching. Is that correct?
Well,
Okay.
you can win in spite of your coaching too. You know that, right?
Yeah,
You
you
you can
can
win in spite of your
you
coaching, right?
can some
I
yeah
mean,
you can
hold on,
sometimes.
because last I checked, that was the same coach that you all had when you won those two division titles with Dak, when you went 13-3 and 10-6. So don't tell me. So
I'm gonna
don't blame
keep
it
it
off.
real, dog. I never thought Jason Garrett was ever going to take Dallas to the Super Bowl because he was never a good. I mean, he's a good coordinator, maybe a good quarterback coach, but he's not a head coach. And as I said before, he's not going to ever coach in the NFL again as a head coach, in my opinion. He won't. That won't never happen. You don't. There's no reason for you to do it. People can even look at. You think coaches and organizations are looking at Jason Garrett being the second time all-time winningest coach in Dallas Cowboy history and said, let's sign that man up. Nobody was beating the door down when they got rid of Jason Garrett and fired him. Not one team was
The New
trying to
York
put,
Giants.
yeah, the New York Giants as a coordinator. You really think that they were gonna, if they were hiring him as a head coach,
Hold on, hold on. Wait a second, man. Are you really going to try to sit and say that Jason Garrett's never going to get another head coach? Yeah.
yeah, I
Hold
said
on.
that. Yeah, I said that. And
Hold on.
I'll say that. And if
Hold on.
it does
Do
happen,
you
you can.
realize?
What?
Do you realize we're talking about the NFL? Do you realize
I
that he has a
don't
better?
care.
Hold on. You realize he has a better chance of getting a head coaching job before Eric Bieniemy? You do realize that,
We
right?
know why though, so don't do that.
Hey, facts are facts. I'm just telling
Right,
you.
but do you think? But you know damn well Jason Garrett don't even deserve to be a head coach in the NFL no more, and
He
you
didn't.
know
Hold
it.
on. He didn't deserve to be head coach to begin with, let
I
alone get
agree.
another
I
chance.
totally
But
agree. So do you understand what the
okay.
purgatory that the Cowboys are in? You guys got blessed with getting a head coach. Who's your coach before Andy Reid?
It was Romeo Crennel.
There you go. You know damn well you will never win nothing with no damn Romeo Canal.
Well, we did have a player shoot himself in the head and kill his baby mama, on the same day he was supposed to play. So, he did have that situation. So he had a lot of stuff that went against him.
Yeah,
But yeah, he wasn't
okay.
going to win the
I
Super Bowl.
get that. So, all right. So now, also in the news, we're gonna get away from that just a little bit. Now, Todd
We won
France.
2 Super Bowls, Rue Glock, and you know what? We won one much sooner than you all have won, what, 25,
Well,
26
it
years now?
doesn't matter. We got more than you, and that's just the way it is. You just got one after
Okay.
100 years. When's the last
Hey,
time you
but
went?
hey, hold
Come
on.
on, don't do that. The last time you was 1960, bro.
1970. But you know what? But I
It
tell you
was
one
when
thing.
the world was black and white, Darren.
Hey,
Come on, don't do
hey.
that.
No. I think color TV was
I
out
don't,
was
I
out.
don't think the
It was out.
I think the world
Hey,
was black and white when y'all won
but I
last
know
one.
this much: with Patrick Mahomes, our quarterback, we gonna end up with more than y'all.
That's what you say, but see, that's a great guess. That's not a fact, though.
I know, right?
Thank
Sound
you.
like Chris Jones and Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, exactly. You sound great getting 5, 6, 7 chances. Sounds all good. That's what LeBron did. He said, not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, and what happened? They only won two. So I don't want to hear none of that.
They go
Anyway,
4 years in a row, though.
yeah, they
It's
went
hard to
40
do it.
years, yeah, and so did Andy Reid, but it don't matter if you ain't win nothing, right? Nobody cares about second place. So don't do that. Because if you
Yeah.
guys would have lost against some San Francisco 49ers, you wouldn't have been spinning that ball and bragging right now, right?
Well, you know what? If my auntie was born with independence, she'd be my uncle too. So, what's your point?
Okay,
We won.
I hear you. I ain't got nothing to say about that. That's what you can live off of. You sound like an Eagle fan right now, but that's okay. And you're gonna live off that for the next 3, 4 years. If you never get back, you'll be screaming about your 2019
Uh,
championship. Yeah, you
oh no,
will. You're gonna do
I'm
just
not
like
worried
the
about
Philly
that.
fans. Yeah,
I'm
you
not
are.
worried about that.
Well, you
We'll be
should.
in Tampa Bay.
I
We'll be
doubt
in
it.
Tampa Bay.
We'll see. Anyway, so
It don't matter.
Todd France was with CAA, the agency, right? And it was a big stink how they said that he basically is leaving there, and the
Yeah, I
deal
was going
did.
to ask you about that because I
I'm
came across something that said that he and Dak Prescott were going separate ways, or was it just more so he's leaving CAA?
I
So
think
is he still representing them?
from what I've been hearing, is that he left the CAA, but he's talking about there. It's been rumblings that he's trying to start his own agency. He left and trying to start his own thing and do his own thing. And then Dak, they're saying that Dak is still messing with him, and that if he creates his own kind of company for agency, that Dak is going to ride with him. You've dealt with it. You've seen this deal with the Kansas City Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes. How do you think that deal was worked out like that, but then you saw a deal like Dak Prescott couldn't get done, and Patrick Mahomes is the guy right now.
Well, I will say this: in Dak's defense, however they were trying to negotiate, you never heard anything on his side, and that's a lot of respect on Dak's side because generally stuff like that gets leaked out, and the fact that it was never really, I mean, it was it was implied that he wanted a lot of money, I mean, he obviously did. But and I'm not sure how true the rumors are that at the last second that Dak tried to come in and try to get something done. That no, we don't hate the Cowboys. Hey James, I need to let your people know that wasn't it just last year that I had the Chiefs Cowboys in the Super Bowl, but
Yeah, you had it. You had it. Yeah.
yeah,
He,
but they
hey,
let me
y'all.
down.
He don't hate
Yeah.
Dallas. He just likes to talk a lot of shit. Don't pay him no mind.
Yeah.
They
I'm
don't
gonna
know
tell.
you yet. They don't know you yet.
I'm gonna need them back the hell up. Shit, the Cowboys was my team. Cowboys, 49ers were the teams I had to watch in the '80s, '80s and '90s, because that's what was always on TV. Rather go to church and I can't see the Chiefs games. Come home 3 o'clock dinner. Hey, Cowboys and 49ers, only thing on television. But no, but going back to what you were saying about the contracts. Look with Patrick, I remember speaking with Lee Steinberg during Radio Row
Hmm.
during the Super Bowl, and I mean, well, I had always said that Patrick would see at least a $500 million. I just thought it would have been over a period of 2 or 3 contracts. I didn't know it was going to be one big contract where it would be $500 million. So I was always under the impression that he would make a $500 million
Mm-hmm.
as a starting quarterback of the Chiefs. But how it worked out this way, the manner in which it was secretive because nobody knew. But you know what? Lee Steinberg is a pretty smart dude because he knows that he could have gotten more, but the directive of Patrick Mahomes had always been that he wants to make sure that not only is he surrounded by quality players such as his teammates, but he wanted to make sure that there were money left on the table because of his experience as the son of a Major League Baseball player. He got a chance to kind of see how contract negotiations can be, and knew that it's a we versus an I in team, and so uh, you know. Uh, Patrick has always been high on his teammates and doing and look, what you all don't see that we see oftentimes is that they actually go out together, like as a collective group, teammates, running back, wide receivers. Patrick with all them, they'll go to haunted houses and they'll go to chicken and pickle and play racquetball and all this stuff. I mean, this is stuff that they just do just on just on the strength. I mean, it's not like something that they have to like kind of plan or put together. I mean, it's stuff that they actually just do because they like being around each other. And so when you're someone like Patrick and you have that type of relationship, you want to make sure that you also surround yourself with the type of players that you want because he could be like, unfortunately, he could be like Dak Prescott where he could eat up everything, but then later on down the line you might get C-level talent, and then people will expect you to be like Aaron Rodgers and work miracles, and then you can't do it. So the fact that he's conscious enough of that, where it's like, okay, well, if I don't take all the money, but I can still bring back Sammy Watkins and Demarcus Robinson, and then Travis Kelsey will have a chance to renegotiate. And then, oh, Chris Jones, well, you've played well, you've earned a new contract. Hey, I left them on the table for you. Let's get a deal done. Let's come back and run this thing back. So, look, in a way, it is the Tom Brady method, which look, I don't subscribe to it, but look, the man made a purchase. He owns part of the Kansas City Royals now, so he's going to make his money to where all the money that he does that he gets from the Chiefs itself, he can give some of that back, so he can still be surrounded by his teammates. And then look, he said he wants to build a legacy, build a dynasty, a la he wants to overtake Tom Brady. Well, the only way you can do that is to keep surrounding yourself by that you brought back. Yeah, well, look, Watkins had to come back for less money, otherwise he wasn't coming back at all because the deal he got, that was never going to happen. So yeah, he had to restructure, so he had the opportunity to go somewhere else, but he wanted to come back and he knew he had to take less money. So all
So,
that being said,
so let
go
me
ahead.
ask you this then. So you're saying that Patrick Mahomes, because I did see where he said, you know what, I left some money on the table for you, Chris Jones. Chris Jones said, yo, I'm grateful. Let's go ahead and do this.
Yeah.
So basically, in your opinion, are you saying that Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones were smart not to do that because they were in the media saying we need to be able to surround Dak with talent and keep talent here. So he's got to be able to understand that, and that's why we don't go this route. But they were still offering a 5 to 6 year deal with this type of money. So do you think Dak Prescott, in your opinion, was being more the greedy type? Is that what you're saying? That because you're saying that he basically wanted to get all his money now, and there wasn't going to be less spread around for them to keep talent because that's what Stephen Jones kept saying in the media as well. So do you think it was greed on Dak's part or the agent?
N- No, to be honest, I think it was just negotiation. I think the issue was that, um, and it's funny too because I remember he was at the combine. Stephen Jones was at the combine, and he talked about Dak getting a hometown discount. But the issue was, you never asked Demarcus Robinson, you didn't ask
Right.
Amari Cooper to take
You didn't.
discounts and
Right. You
everything,
didn't
and
take. You
so
didn't tell Ezekiel Elliott to do discounts either. He was the
ex,
highest
ex,
paid running. So that's where the frustration comes.
yeah. No, look. I'm not saying I don't understand. Look, I understand what Dak was doing. My only issue with Dak in the contract was that he thought he was worth Patrick Mahomes' money. Now you can feel that way as an individually, but factually, what you put out there on the field and everything else, and at least Patrick had won an MVP, took his team to the championship game his first full year. Then the next year he won a Super Bowl and the MVP of the Super Bowl. So I mean, he had a track record. Dak Dak had Rookie of the Year and made a couple of Pro Bowls.
And he made the playoffs. He won an
Yeah,
NFC
yeah,
East title, two of them.
yeah. I mean, Patrick won a couple of those, but all that, but going back to your point though, you're paying on potential now versus what you've done. And look, again, I don't fault Dak Prescott for asking for the money that he was asking for, but he also had to be realistic. And to me, I put him in a situation, which is what I told Michelle Tafoya, that I think his agent wanted a little bit too much money instead of I think he would. I think they offered what 35 million or a little bit over 35 million
Right, but
over
they were
five
saying,
years.
but they were saying the guarantees and the percentages were less than Ryan Tannehill.
Well, I
That, I mean, don't you think that's an
thought it.
issue?
I thought it was either. I thought it was at first. I heard 80 million, but then I heard it was over 100 million.
Right, but
And
they were
so,
talking about the guarantees, and then at the last minute they said, "Oh, well, we pushed it up. They couldn't get the paperwork through, and the deal wasn't done," which is bogus. And to me, it's just a
well
bunch
to
of
me to me they had 2 years to get this done.
right.
So
So there's no
I
excuse
don't
for
believe
that.
anybody
Yeah,
when it comes to that. But no, I don't blame Dak. I do blame more Steven and Jerry on that because they try to negotiate through the media, which is something that you should never do. But then look, but Steven set it off, man. I mean, when you ask to
that's
take a
what they
hometown
always do.
discount,
That's what they
yeah, but
always do. That's
no,
our
but
problem.
again, no, but again, but when you're asking your starting quarterback to take a hometown discount, but you don't ask that of the other players, then yeah, if I'm Dak, I'm feeling a certain kind of way. Now, I don't think it's going to end well between Dak and the Cowboys.
That was my next question. I'm glad you brought that as a good segue because I didn't mean to cut you off, big dog, but
No, you're good.
just saying that because people are talking about, oh, he could be the next Kirk Cousins. But my thing is when you have this issue going around with this COVID, right, and that salary cap is going to drop next year, right? How are you figuring that if you were balking right now to make this deal? How are we thinking that this Dak Prescott is going to be with Dallas long term now? If you couldn't get the deal done this year, right? What is going to change next year from the Cowboys still not won 5 years and Dak still won 40? What's going to change in this? And the cap is going to be lower. So how do we reality think that Dak is going to be with us long term? What's your opinion?
Oh well, again, as I mentioned to Michelle before, I could see a scenario where Dak is not there next year because one, obviously we don't know for sure what's going to happen with the salary cap. At a minimum, it'll be 175 million dollars, and of course, because he is franchise tag, that's hard money, and so that counts against the cap where you can't spread that out. So, um, I can see a scenario where look, one, he's betting on himself again. If there is a season, he can't afford to get hurt. He can't afford to not play well because if he doesn't play well and Andy Dalton comes in, well now you got a $28 million backup who makes less than Dak does, and so. You could easily let Dak hit the free market, and then here's the other thing too. A lot of these teams, outside of the bad teams such as Jacksonville, they already have their franchise quarterback set, and then you're going to be having Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence coming out next season. I mean, why if you're I mean if you really look at it, and from time to time I generally do, when you look at the teams, you can already tell which teams already have their franchise quarterbacks. It's just some teams are better than others. I mean, even what you got Cincinnati, you got Joe Burrow, Cleveland. I mean, it depends on what Baker Mayfield does this year. Ben Roethlisberger is still there. You got Lamar Jackson in the AFC Central. So I mean, when you look at these teams and where they go, I mean, Dak to me could have been overplaying his hand and his
Well,
agent.
Well, we're about to see. This is an interesting thing, especially with this COVID. It's going to be interesting to see because I feel the same way. In my opinion, I'm not so sure about Dak as much as I want him to still be there. I think he can get even better. I've said it before when he had Jason Garrett. If he put those numbers in and won those many games with a Jason Garrett, I'm feeling that he can do the damn same thing with a Mike McCarthy, who I feel is a way head and shoulders a better coach than Jason Garrett. So let me ask you this. That's something that we're gonna just all have to keep on watching. So what's your thoughts? You had Romeo Cannell switched over to Andy Reid. I'm sure there was elation over in Kansas City world thinking, okay, now we finally got somebody who can take us to the ship. You're probably feeling the way that the Cowboys fans are feeling too, that you got away from a coach and now you got a championship coach. What are your kind of thoughts on McCarthy? From going from Green Bay, taking the year off, coming over to Dallas. What are your kind of prospects, and what do you think McCarthy is actually going to bring to the table for the Cowboys from afar?
Well, let me say this as it relates to Andy. When he first came over, I never thought he would win a Super Bowl with Alex Smith. I never thought Alex Smith was the answer.
Right.
As Jordan Tucker will attest to, I
Jay
wasn't.
Tuck, what's up with you,
Yeah,
big dog?
I wasn't a fan of the Chiefs drafting Patrick Mahomes. I wanted them to get Deshaun Watson. I mean, I've always been
Yeah, I
high.
remember you saying that.
Yeah, seeing what they did, seeing what he did against Alabama those 2 years in that title game. So I'm consistent. I mean, hell, I've told Patrick, at the barbershop, hell, I mean, it ain't no big secret. I've always wanted Deshaun Watson, but I figured he's their franchise quarterback. This is our guy. Hey, I wish him nothing but success, and success is what he's had. So, I got to ride with this kid. But that being said, look, Mike McCarthy, I, I really thought that you all were going to get the former Ohio State coach.
No, don't nobody. No, 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 no,
Yeah,
no.
I thought that would have been a better fit for y'all. But
How?
here's the thing: one leading up to the game, you got to worry about him going off to get a massage, and two, look, he's even at the highest level of college football, he's
College
won three national.
football.
Hey, look, Jimmy Johnson won a national championship, and what did he
He's
do?
not no
Did he get
Jimmy Johnson.
no, hold on. What did both he and your boy in Seattle do? You know what I'm saying? They both won national titles before they came to the NFL and won Super Bowl titles. So don't try to make it seem like that you can't win one and go to the next level and succeed, because then you'd be wrong. And I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to be on,
Okay,
you know,
that's
get
all good, but you know what? College coaches take a little bit more time to develop. It's not like those guys came right in and won Super Bowls, right? So
uh,
and
uh, okay. I know
okay, so but what
took
I'm
them a
saying,
couple of years,
took him a
okay.
few years. I mean, took Jimmy Johnson, but also when Jimmy Johnson came in, there wasn't free agency, so there was a big difference then. Okay, so that's a huge difference.
Shit, he had that nice trade. Okay, that's what he
Right,
did,
right. He
and
also
he
didn't
built
have
his
free
team through that.
agency. He also didn't have free agency crippled taking players away in the set, so you could build and you couldn't. It's different now, and you know it. So you know it's different. My thing is, I like I liked what's his name? God darn it, from my house. I'm out here and don't remember his name. Uh,
McCarthy.
no, no, not McCarthy. The Ohio State coach. What's his damn
Ah,
name? Anyway, y'all, somebody bring it out here. I don't know why. Urban Meyer. There it is. Okay, so I
yeah.
liked Urban Meyer. I'm gonna keep it real to you, Darren. I liked Urban Meyer, but my thing was why wait.
Hold on. How you gonna like him? But then
Listen,
you
I'm
take
saying, listen, he was my second choice. If you listen what I'm saying, my first choice when they were talking about coaches, my first choice was instantly Mike McCarthy. I posted it instantly as soon as he was going to be available. As soon as they were talking about Jason Garrett, I instantly wanted Mike McCarthy. Now, if they were going to go the college route, it would have been Urban Meyer because, to your point, he was successful in college. He did win. He knows how to build programs, and I feel like has a good mind with the players. But once again, you're coming from college. I don't know how long of a transition that would take you. Whereas a Mike McCarthy, you came in, hit the ground running. Think about it. When he started at Green Bay, it didn't take them long to get to a Super Bowl. Didn't take them long to start winning games. I know he had Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers was not that guy when he first got him. You get what I'm saying? I feel like he contributed to develop him. So it didn't take McCarthy forever to get to Super Bowl and to championships and winning games. So now, if you see that transition coming over to Dallas and you see the players that they already have in place, do you think it would be a long period of time before Dallas could possibly get to that level of Super Bowl again?
no, No,
That's it.
I don't. Well, I mean, well, look, if no, well, no, because I mean, just based off what you said, I mean, they've always had the talent. Okay, they've had the talent. And look, and
So doesn't
to an
coaching
extent,
matter?
well, I mean, hell, you don't even let me say it, but I was just about to say that's where coaching comes in because again, you know, nobody knew what to expect from Dak Prescott, and to an extent, I mean, you kind of got a feeling you knew what to expect from Ezekiel Elliott. So the rookie year, they kind of took everybody by storm. But Jason Garrett also put the players in good position to win games, and so. Look, I don't know what happened over the years to where they kind of digress versus progress. But look, I know what you got in Ezekiel Elliott. You can tell because he was the highest ranked Cowboys player, I think, in with the rankings that the players of the NFL came out with just last week. Dak Prescott again. He's surrounded by talent. You got Amari Cooper. You got the rookie
CeeDee
that everybody's
Lamb.
high on.
Yeah.
Yeah, CeeDee Lamb. And to me, what really hurt you all last year, I think, was the injuries to your defense. I think Van Der Esch was out most of
Yeah.
the year.
That did hurt.
Sean Lee, Sean Lee was out a couple years
I ain't
ago.
worried about no Sean Lee.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but when they play well, and I know you lost a kid in free agency that got that $80 million down in Miami, but he didn't really do anything. He was
Byron
just a
Jones.
yeah, he was just a good athlete. Look, I mean, but you all do got Don Terry Poe. You do got the other kid from Tampa Bay.
Gerald
So you
McCoy.
all, yeah, Jericho. So look, you all have an opportunity to, I mean, to make a splash and make a surprise. Look, and I'm expecting big things from the Dallas Cowboys. Look, I expect you all to make the playoffs, and I actually expect you all to win the division as well. So I mean, I'll predict you all to win the division. But my question is, well, I mean, you got Dak on the counter, so I mean, it's not going to be an issue now. Just basically how you all look in practices and stuff between now and the start of the regular season, since there are no preseason games. But look, Mike McCarthy, look, coaching makes a difference. He has won a Super Bowl, so look, I give
And
him
he
the
should
benefit
have
of the
went in
doubt.
2014 if it wasn't for the goofy tight end hitting the ball off his hands against Seattle, because Seattle shouldn't even been there, because that should be Packers. But we understand they didn't go, but that happens.
Wasn't
But
that the
you,
year? Wasn't that the year that Dez made that?
yeah,
Okay, yeah,
yeah, and they
yeah.
overruled
So the
it.
Cowboys probably should have been there. Yeah.
Yeah, you feel me? Cowboys really should have been there because I mean that was the 2014. That was to me. I keep on saying this. Garrett was never to me a Super Bowl coach, but that was his best opportunity to get it because the way that offense was humming, you knew the defense wasn't that good, but it kind of felt like that fate year because that was the year we went into Seattle and actually beat Seattle. They were undefeated for like 2 years in Seattle, so that was the best time where I felt like Garrett actually had a chance to do something, and it still didn't happen. So it was like once that didn't happen because when we were 13-3 in 2016, I'm gonna keep it real. When we played Green Bay in that opening, when they came to Dallas, I didn't feel good. And guess who was the coach? You get what? And no, but and
Hey,
guess who was the coach for
you know
Green
what?
Bay? You feel me? And my McCarthy loved
Y'all should
kicking
have
our
won that game.
ass.
Yeah, I mean, I should have won that game. Trust me, that was the year I had y'all. I had y'all in the Super Bowl because I thought you up, man. Look, don't have me start reminiscing about that stuff because I was upset about that.
All right, so I look at 2020. We talked about Dak Prescott, Mike McCarthy. Now, let me ask you something. We got this situation with Randy Gregory. I don't know if you've kept. I know you do Kansas City football.
I think he's still trying to get reinstated. He's still waiting to
Yeah,
get.
but it's a lot of crazy stuff going on right now. I just posted a tweet. I guess it was, I don't know if it's his person that's his PA that's supposed to be helping him get his paperwork done with the NFL. But they've been going back and forth, and I guess his PA blocked him. And now there was just a tweet on here that I just posted where Randy Gregory, the guy's basically saying, "Hey, I'm having a good day, but people are threatening me." And Randy Gregory's like, "I'm in your DMs. You need to answer me, dude. You're supposed to be helping me, and you ain't doing nothing." And this is the tweeting. The Twitter is going back and forth. It's Twitter wars. Now, you've been around this business a lot longer than me, and Randy Gregory, who has been suspended multiple times, we understand he's done. He said he's in the right place. He's done everything he needs to do. Is this good for Randy Gregory to be tweeting a person that's supposed to be almost like his liaison to the NFL of helping him, and he's tweeting them back and forth, and now the dude has blocked him?
No, it's not. It's not a good look at all. No. I mean, I could expound on it, but really, no, it's not a good look. And
You can expound.
one,
I want you to expound on it.
well, I'm always of the hermit. We're saying, you can type what you want to type out, just don't press send. So feel like you got to type it out and then just,
Erase it.
backspace and erase it. Because here's the thing. I mean, you're in a situation where you're trying to get back into the league. They don't need you back into the league. They don't have to have you back in the league. The league was here before you. It'll be here after you. So,
And
so
the
in that
great
respect,
Deion
no, I
Sanders. The words of the great Deion Sanders.
basically, and that's for players who are opting out. So, no, I don't think it's a good look for him. And I mean, the thing is, okay, you doing all that, it's not going, it hadn't gotten you back in the league any sooner. And by you acting this way on Twitter, it's not going to get you back into the league any sooner. So, I don't see what he gains from it.
Yeah, I haven't really heard Randy Gregory speak or talk, and now he is on like a Twitter rampage, and I understand the frustration, but this is what I told people. I made a video last week about the situation, and
Somebody needs to take his phone away from him. Then, if that's the case,
but here's I want you to see. I want your opinion on this. I was saying last week that I'm not hating on Randy Gregory or his situation or what he's trying to do or get back in the league, but this is what I said. Whether it's been, mental health issues, or whether you just been smoking weed. Once you, in my opinion, you've been suspended multiple times. I feel like the NFL and the commissioner is not going to jump up there and say, okay, yeah, let's go ahead and get him done. Let's go ahead and get him out the way. After you had 2, 3, 4 suspensions, whether it was medical or not, I just feel like the NFL is going to put you on a back burner and you're going to wait now. You're not going to be first. And I'm not saying they got something against Dallas, but guess what? You play for Dallas, you're going to wait. I'm just saying, but you're going to wait until we get this done. You jumping out on Twitter when you already had issues, you jumping out on Twitter and saying this, I don't think this helps as well because the commissioner, how I don't know if he got Twitter. I don't know how you know. I mean, you feel me? You feel me, big dog? What if he looks at these tweets and like, oh, nah, I really ain't gonna do nothing.
well, here's the thing, man. All you have to do is see Antonio Brown. You see how long it took them. It took them to, saying to get to deal with his issue, deal with his case, and so I just don't, I mean, again, I don't see where he benefits from his little Twitter rampage at all. So,
Yeah, well, like I said, we'll hopefully see what's going on. So let me ask you, your draft class. We Dallas Cowboys had a really good draft class because I'm not gonna keep you too much longer, big dog.
no, you're
But
fine. But man, the Cowboys always have a good draft.
I mean,
So,
no, I ain't gonna say that Dallas Cowboys always have a good draft. The last few drafts have been really good. Still waiting to see what 2019 is planned out because there was a lot of not playing for the players. They're still talking about Tristan Hill may not even be there, and he was our second round draft pick. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like Dallas had a pretty good draft. What's your thoughts on the KC draft, and do you think any of those guys will come in and have some instant impact,
oh
even with
yeah,
the COVID going on?
oh yeah, yeah. Well, first of all, the Chiefs they've been drafting pretty well. Talking about Cowboys, they've been drafting well for a number of years now. I mean, when you look at Tyreek Hill, you find in Kareem Hunt in the draft, and some of these other players that have been coming out starting. And one thing that the Chiefs have done, which look is advantageous. One, you have to be able to draft well because you're getting these kids on rookie deals, so that's why you try to win. You try to spend that money free
Right.
agency,
Get it
and then
done while it's
surround them with
cheap.
you. Yeah, while it's cheap before before the rent is due. That being said, no, you got Clyde Edward-Helaire, rookie running back. He's going to be starting because Damian Williams is sitting out the season. So Andy Reid's going to toss it right in there. Look, he's played at the highest level. He played in the national championship game, won a national title with LSU, and that type of spread offense that they got. And he's going to come right here in Kansas City, still be able to do it. Now, whether or not he's going to be, every down back, we'll have to wait and see. But I expect big things from him. I expect big things from Willie Gay. I expect him to start. He's a Chiefs second round draft pick, a
Linebacker from
linebacker.
Mississippi, right?
Yeah, so he's going to come in and start. Lucas Niang would have had an opportunity to start, but he decided obviously, to sit out the season. And so the other draft picks, we have to wait and see. I mean, I know one of them is a cornerback. They'll get a chance to play. One, and I'll be honest, I didn't realize it until I saw their contract signings. Hell, even a seventh round draft pick sounded like a 4-year, $3 million deal. So I was like, "Sheesh, I wish I was a little bit younger or whatever."
You feel
Because
me?
you should think seventh round draft pick, they're not gonna make the team, but you
Right
sign a
now,
contract for $3 million as a rookie, as a seventh rounder. Really, that's what you get these days,
yeah. The seventh
bruh.
rounders are making it nowadays. You remember back in the day, big dog, that you were a seventh rounder, you weren't making the team, like you just said.
Man,
Now you're a
exactly.
seventh rounder, you feel like you still got a good chance. Like it ain't bad. Like you can still. We seen tons. I think there was a statistic, and it said like over 40 something percent of players in the NFL have been undrafted or making a huge difference in the NFL. So it's not really the draft status, is what you do once you get on that team. You know what I mean?
And then,
Um,
and then again, and remember, like I said, because of how the Chiefs are draft, you're able to get more. Because one of the things that they have been doing, they have been playing their rookies a lot. Getting them involved and getting them in the game and stuff. Because look, once you do that and they play well, now you're like, okay, hell, we got us a starter, and we're paying them cheap. So now you can get 3-4 years out of them, maybe a fifth year if you're like the running back, and then you go back into the draft and you're drafting the replacements along the way. And then with Andy Reid, you got to remember what he's doing. He's always going to keep top players
right,
around for that offense. With Patrick
right,
Mahomes, it's going to be
right.
the defense that will have to take haircuts and stuff like that. But if you draft well, then then they're always playing at a higher pace, but at a cheaper rate. So.
So let me ask you this. Now you see Dallas's mode because you just said the Kansas City Chiefs. You know Andy Reid. He's going to keep that offense, which I think McCarthy is that same type of guy. Like he's going to keep that offense intact no matter what. He's going to draft you defensive players, but he's going to keep that offense humming. I've always been a defensive guy. I always said defense, wins championship. Offense sell tickets. Defense wins championships. Now you just said that he's going to keep that offense together. You might have to just really draft good and shape that defense. When I look at the Cowboys right now, I see dominant offense, okay defense, some good talent around it, but I don't know if it's going to be dominant. So, do you think the offense is more of the forefront now in the NFL and that can take you to win the championships, or do you still think get a great defense and that will win you the Super Bowl?
Ooh, you know what? Hate to straddle the fences, but you got to have both. And the reason why, because the Chiefs had a hell of an offense
But
two
it was
years
the
ago when they
defensive
made.
plays that won the Super Bowl.
No. Hold on. Let me say.
Okay.
So
Okay.
they had a hell of an offense, but their defense was ranked 31st. So
Mm-hmm.
again, and when we lost to the Patriots at home, if the defense was middle of the road, Kansas City beats New England and they go to the Super Bowl. This year, the defense got better as once everybody got healthy because we were the Chiefs were succumbed by injuries early on, but as the players started coming back after the Mexico City game and the players started coming back healthy, that's when they went on that run and they never lost again. As the players were entering December, so the Chiefs look they I mean everything worked out in their favor, but in that but it was the defense that that made big plays not only against the 49ers in the Super Bowl, but hell against Houston and even against Tennessee, because granted it was the offense that brought them back, but the offense for whatever reason, and I can never understand, they would start slow. The defense make a good play here or there. They make a stop, kind of like they did against Detroit on the goal line in the second game of the season, where the running back, where the defensive back took the ball, stripped the ball and ran it back 98 yards for a touchdown, and the Chiefs ended up winning that game like 35-33 or something like that. But I say that you got to have both because, again, the Chiefs can have the best offense in the world, which they do with Patrick and Travis Kelsey and Sammy Watkins, Miko Hardman and
Man, y'all got some
Travis Kelsey.
y'all got some dudes
Yeah,
over there.
yeah. We got some weapons, but it doesn't matter if we can't stop because again, I was at that game in L.A. when it was going back and forth between them and the Rams. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
bro, Patrick Mahomes had 6 touchdowns and 5 turnovers. What I mean? So that was a hell of a game seeing Kareem, and that was Kareem Hunt's last game for the Chiefs. Seeing that game and reliving that game during this COVID, where ESPN showed it, I mean, gosh, man, look, that, whew, we should be going for a three-peat versus going for a back-to-back title. But I hate to say it, you got to have a balance of both. Seattle, the year that they lost that Super Bowl to the Patriots, they had the Legion of Boom offense, but you had Marshawn Lynch, but you had the ego of the head coach wanting to prove a point. the defensive players or whatever, and not give Marshawn Lynch the ball to get the go ahead touchdown, and having Russell Wilson pass to try to get a touchdown and be the MVP. He let his ego get in the way of doing what was right, which would have been run the ball, score a touchdown. Brady didn't have any time left to try to bring the team back, and you back-to-back Super Bowl champions. But again, man, they had both offense and defense. So that being the case, no, you got to have a balanced attack. I don't care how good your offense or defense is. You have to have a balanced attack to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we're gonna see what happens this year. Like I said, man, I'm gonna keep it real. I don't think this COVID, just in my opinion. Now, I've had people that have got sick from it and recovered. I I'm not insensitive to it at all, but I'm trying to figure this out that if you got UFC fighters that are doing hand-to-hand combat and getting bloody,
Yeah, but
and
you're on an island too, though. I mean, you're
okay,
not.
so
You're
it's
someplace
so
separate.
that's more like the bubble then, right? Like the NBA,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah, but you got to remember they're tested. So if they test negative for it, I mean, you're good to go. You're good to fight. You're good to fight.
Mhm.
And but here's the thing. Dana White also has them secluded too. They're in a hotel. They can't. It's not like you can just go roam the city and then come back and fight. No. So with the NBA, I mean, they're in a bubble, so
Right.
they can't. It's not like they can't go. So ever since July 20th, no one has tested positive. Now they haven't really entered or left much. I know Lou Williams had to go make a pit stop and get some wings and things like that. But for the most part, the players have been secluded. So once you test negative and there's no, I mean, and everyone there has tested negative, I mean, you're kind of good to go unless somehow someone from the outside has the virus and brings it in, which has been unlucky so far. And considering one of the guests that we had on today, who's in Orlando, who works in Orlando as a sports anchor down there, she said the security is pretty tight down there. So I kind of like the bubble theory more or
I
less.
mean, I'm gonna keep it real. I love the bubble theory. I love how they were able to stop it, figure it out, come back. And I said this before with the NFL. They are walking into the storm. They haven't been able
Mhm.
to be in the storm, go out of the storm. Let's stop and let's go back in and figure this out. That's why I feel like the NBA benefited because the season was almost over. Right. And then they were able to
Yeah.
stop it. And it actually helped as far as them because they were able to stop it. Let's figure this out. Let's come back. And it was what, not that many games left before you hit the playoffs. So I think that helped them. But my thing is this, my concern is this before we end this off, big dog, is that you're still traveling to different states. You can't, they have a, oh, there you go. Um, they don't have a bubble. Can you really police these players from not going to a club, not going to kicking it with their boys, not going
Oh
to
yeah.
party?
Well, yeah. So
You don't got a
now,
bubble. How you gonna do that, big
well,
dog?
no, because players have to police themselves, and this is now
They ain't gonna
the
do that. You got all them damn
well,
teams.
no, listen, because the Players Association and the league, they've negotiated penalties and stuff. So I mean, if the
But
players,
but D, how they gonna find out if they did it? They got a call line, but how
no,
they
no,
gonna
no,
if they
no,
don't
no.
explain it to me?
Well, okay, so again, I'm on this conference call. So the Chiefs on last week, we spoke with the Vice President of Sports Medicine, Rick Burkholder. The players, everyone wears at the NFL. They give the players contact tracer that
Hmm.
they have to wear now. Now because of how it's going off in the locker rooms, they're required to take it off before they get into the locker room and what have you. But
Hmm.
what the tracer does is that if it can, and look, I don't know how they do it, this technology, but they can. But if you somehow come into contact or whatever, they're actually able to use that tracer that you wear around your neck and trace to see who you have been with or next to or whoever that you may have gotten it from. So they can trace it back to the initial person that you may have got the COVID from. Now the other thing is that they signed in this new CBA that they made the amendments to where again you get players who are able to opt out is that if the players cannot be in a situation where they're in a bar, entertainment establishment, concert, stuff like that, where it's more than 15 people. If so, and they are found to have violated, I mean, there are penalties in place that can null and void their contract and their salary for this year. Now, look, we know that players such as Josh Gordon and others will, for whatever reason, risk their contract over smoking weed. I don't understand it. I can't call it. It is what it is.
Hmm.
But if you're stupid enough to put yourself in a situation where you can get suspended and you can lose your money because you can't follow simple directions and police yourself. Hell, I don't feel sorry for you, man.
I don't feel sorry for you either,
I
but
mean,
I just feel like it's going to happen, though. You have 32 teams for us to think that it's going to be all
look,
good. I cannot believe that.
there are dumbasses. All look, we go from the highest to the White House all the way down. Okay, there are dumbasses everywhere.
Hmm?
That don't mean it's not going to happen. So yeah, I agree. Look, I know it's going to happen. I mean, look, hell, we didn't think somebody was going to violate the bubble, but somebody did, trying to get a DoorDash, and then of course Lou Williams, going to a damn strip club trying to make something. He went there just for wings. I mean, people. I almost said the wrong thing. I almost said the N word.
We said it before.
People
You're
are going,
okay.
but people are going to do it. But I mean, hell, I can't. If they do, then look, they have to be able to suffer the consequences.
All right. So, I mean, like I said, we're going to see me and my boy, Jay Tuck, Jay. But we were both talking about, and also my boy, Boss Cowboys. We were saying about about week 4 in the NFL. If you don't really see any major problems by week 4, I think the season can push all the way forward through. Kind of your thoughts. Give me before we walk out of here on this one, give me a week where you think if we're past this week in the NFL, I feel like we're safe.
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, because you got to remember, we haven't even hit the quote unquote second wave, and it's supposed to the COVID's supposed to come back stronger during the flu season. That's going to be deep into the fall. So week 4 doesn't mean anything to me because you can get to week 4, and that flu bug mixed with that COVID hit later on down the way, and then we right back where we started from. So
Mm-hmm.
I'd say Thanksgiving, but look, let's just get the season underway before we start trying to figure out when it might start and stop. Because right now I'm still trying to figure out whether or not I'm gonna be traveling to cover these games.
Yeah, I feel you. Well, I seen you've been doing your thing over there with the KC Royals, right? Um,
Oh yes, sir. Yes,
that's
sir.
been
Yes,
that's
sir.
been interesting with this baseball thing in itself. Tell me about that right quick, man. How's that experience
Sure.
been watching the baseball games with no crowds? You've been covering the Royals. How's that whole atmosphere been? Because possibly, and matter of fact, since it's perfect, because I was like, what is the NFL going to do if there is no fans? Right? Like that is so whacked out weird. I mean, I know baseball, but I think NFL football is a whole different animal. Tell me your thoughts on that part.
Well, I will say this: one, covering the Royals, it's been very peaceful. Haven't had to worry about fighting traffic during the game.
Right.
So I've been loving it. It wasn't as peaceful now, but I look at the intricacies, with the whole piping and the noise and stuff like that. I actually love it. I don't know what it
Really?
is, but
Okay.
I like it because it does sound very authentic.
Mm-hmm.
Even watching the NBA basketball games when you hear the crowd and stuff like that's pumped in there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it sounds like real actual stuff. So I mean, I like it. I like to see how it's going to turn out for football, which I still think it'd be just the same. I mean, with as much technology, as much money they spend, you won't even know the difference. Now they're talking about putting virtual fans in the stands. Now that's something I would like to see, but it's been a pretty good experience. And I will say this: it initially takes some getting used to, but then once you get used to it, it's like, well, if I was a fan, why would I come back? So, but it's my job to do it. So, but no, I'm fine either way, whether you have fans or not. I'm cool, but I mean, look, I'm all about safety above any and everything else. So I'd rather if they're gonna have the games that fans aren't there, uh, and then but if you're in a situation where, look, Dr. Fauci said if everyone in America wore masks for two straight weeks, in and out, going what you're doing, we could probably defeat this virus, or at least get it to the point where you can have fans in the stands to see. But everybody thinks that wearing a mask is some type of violation of their
First Amendment.
of their First Amendment or their freedom of liberties or whatever. I don't know. I can't. I mean, wearing a mask, look, I was at the casino last night wearing a mask shooting craps. It didn't stop me from throwing numbers left and right. I was just fine either way.
Yeah, I feel you, big dog. So, like I said, man, we'll see how everything's going on, man. I really appreciate you jumping in here for me. You got on
Anytime.
my ass on Facebook. You try to chin check me on Facebook like that. I didn't
Hey, man,
appreciate that shit. It's like no.
I gotta keep it. I gotta keep 100, man, because
Yeah, I
I
see.
expect people to
Yeah,
do the same for
yeah,
me.
I feel you. Straight chin check me on Facebook. So I said, okay, let me get my dog back on here. It's been almost like for real a year. It was like almost a year to the day that when we talked and did the last show. So I
Oh
appreciate you
yeah.
coming on, man. Big
Oh,
salutes
do
to
me one
you.
favor.
What's up?
Do me one favor. Tell Numb Nuts I said hello.
I'm gonna tell. Hey, he in love now.
Oh Lord.
He got him a girl. He in love
I,
posting.
I,
He posting every other day with him and his girl. He in love, dog. So I'm gonna make sure and give him that extra special message that you said hi and he in love.
Numb I said good luck with that.
Yeah, but hey, man, like I said, I appreciate you. Y'all really need to check my man out. I know he does work with the Kansas City Chiefs, man, but this dude done met everybody in the whole United States of America. Like, and I'm being real when I say that. And I just really appreciate your feedback. I always be catching you on your Chief shows when you do your Zooms. And I love how you just really keep it professional. And you be banging with the top people out there, and you be banging. And one thing I really like about you, dog, you be saying shit and these motherfuckers be copying that stuff. I be
Oh,
hearing you
trust
be
me, I know.
I be hearing you
I
saying it
know.
way before these major networks, and then I see a major network come right after you and say it. So big ups to you, dog. I just appreciate our friendship, and I thank you for coming on here, sharing your knowledge. If anybody didn't hear you in the very beginning, give all your information, or if they want to ever check you out, what you got going on, all that good stuff right now.
Sure. You can have me back on anytime. Just don't let it be another year before I
Yeah,
come
I
back
won't.
on.
I won't.
Uh,
Don't be talking that
uh,
shit no more, though.
well, yeah, we'll see about that. But yeah, have me on during the football season, man. Let's talk about how our teams are doing throughout the year. Look, you can catch me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Darren Smith WHB. Currently, you can catch me on Sports Radio 18 WHB Sundays from noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. You can watch the show either on Facebook Live, on the mobile app, Sports Radio 810 mobile app, or 810WHB.com. So, again, thank you so very much, James, for having me on and inviting me on, and I appreciate it. And again, I'll come back whenever you need me to.
Yeah, and like I said, man, I really appreciate you. Thank you very much. And
Sure.
just big ass salutes to everything you do over there, dog. You're a mentor to me, and I told you that when we first talked and met. And I just love how you keep it professional and how you keep the clan together and bring people in. So I do really appreciate that, and you're definitely going to be on more, especially during the season. We can definitely chop it up after some games and then kind of talk about that kind of stuff as well. So I
Oh yeah,
appreciate you. Go ahead.
one more thing. Shout out to your viewers and people chatting in, chiming in, and stuff like that. It's always good to, have people interact and stuff. And that's something that I do love to do. Do like to have happen when I'm doing the Facebook Live stuff is interacting with the audience. So because sometimes they think that you're real big time or something, but the fact that you can interact and to people all the time, you see me on the street, this is the same. I'm the same guy you see talking shit,
Same
doing stuff with
OG.
you. Same OG when I'm not, when the cameras are off and the radio's off. You catch me out, catch me outside, and
Catch me outside. How about that?
you see me at the casino, see me at the barbecue. Hey, I'm same guy you gonna hear on the radio. I'm same guy, so
Hey,
nothing changes.
it's the same way here, and that's what, like you said, that's why I do love the interactive. I appreciate all my peoples, everybody jumping in here. Rue Glock, Eastside Harold, I love you, dog, even though you like them whack ass Texans. Jim Laws, Milton Green, Jeremy X, Boothang, Rich Kendall. Let me see what else. Cowboys family, my God, Jay Tuck, T Smooth TV. Was a whole bunch of Cowboys fan, 1977. John Ingo, KMT, one of my members, whole bunch of members. Shout out to all the mods that do their thing up in here. Just really appreciate everybody who supports the channel. Keep on supporting Silver and Blue Nation and Big Game James. As I told y'all before, I got a guest. We're just ironing the dates and times now. I got another guest, a former Dallas Cowboys cornerback You'll definitely like this one, and we're just ironing out everything. So that's going to be coming up, and you know how we do over here. So just continue to like, subscribe, become a member as low as $1.99, and you know how we do. Shout out and a special birthday again to Miss Jessica Haggerty. It's her birthday today. She's 42 years old. I didn't mean
And
to
happy
give it.
birthday to Pat Mahomes, Patrick's dad. He's 50 today.
Oh, okay. Patrick Mahomes. Shout out to Patrick Mahomes. And shout out to my guy, Flor Perrier. Like I said, you're getting your shirt. And Jessica, I need to get in your inbox because I got a gift for you coming for your birthday. So appreciate everybody that jumped in the feed. Love you guys for life. And we'll be talking very, very soon. And make sure you continue to support the Late Night Hype, which comes on every Tuesday, which will be coming around the rear very soon. And one last thing. We'll start be doing a little bit more Dallas Mavericks games. You've seen we the Late Night Hype. We did a couple basketball games this past week. Dallas Mavericks, Phoenix Suns, LA Lakers, Houston Rockets. Now the Mavs have made the playoffs. It looks like the first round is going to be against the Clippers. My guy DDP, who does Mavs work, we and him are going to work together and probably do a show like that. So make sure you keep on staying in tune for all the great things that we got going on here. And I love you guys for life. And I'll be talking to y'all out. Big Game James, Darren.